What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Paige with the Page, and today we're going to be doing my February / birthday book haul. I am so overwhelmed and so thankful to just everyone that is so wonderful and beautiful. In the month of February, I acquired 25 new books. That is 5 times the amount that I received in January, and my heart cannot deal, and I am so excited to get to every single one of these books that have made their way into my house. So I'm going to break this up into talking through the book buying challenge and how I went with that, then the books that I bought myself, gift cards that I used, and then gifts from other wonderful, glorious people who are absolutely so lovely, and I can't deal. So like I said, I acquired 25 books. 7 of these I bought myself and 16 of these were gifted. 2 of them were ARCs. I have 23 new books to my TBR, and I'm so excited for all of these because they are absolutely amazing. I'm so lucky with what has been selected. So for my book buying challenge, I'll leave a link up above to January's haul, which explains it in a little bit more detail because I'm always an incoherent mess. Essentially, I am reading books to get to a soft and a hard cap. I've never gone over the hard cap in terms of acquiring the books as of yet, but I did have leftover money from January, so I will explain what I've done with that. But to earn money for physical books, I earn $15 that I read off my shelves. It doesn't matter if I have bought it in this year or not, so if I end up reading some of these in the next few months, they will still count towards that $15. Just to make it easier on myself, I want to be prioritizing both the ones that are coming in soon as well as my backlist, so I don't want to penalize myself for picking up the ones that I am excited for, but I need to keep it more balanced. So that's how I'm working that. For any ebooks, so ARCs are worth $2.50, and then any library books like the Animorphs or the Men-at-Arms, because I know that I'm going to be reading through those each month, they are worth $1. So in February, I read 8 physical books, which is $120. I read 2 ebooks, which were both ARCs, so that's $5, and then I read 2 library equivalent, which are $2, and that was the Animorphs and the Terry Pratchett one. So for a total, I earned $127. Now, because I had leftover money, I did put that towards a book and have it included that in this calculation. So the amount that I'm going for is $111.48. So I earned $15 more than I spent, so that's going into the house fund. Ash did say for the rollover money, because I'm not going to necessarily know what I'm going to want to do with it in that month, and it was a significant amount in January that I had acquired, so we decided to put it towards a nice addition, and I will show you that soon. But I didn't want to, for this amount of $15, I'm just going to put that straight in the house fund and it's not rolling over. Also because I got the weapon in my TBR game twice, the knife and the wrench both hooked up to the rooms that they were corresponding with, I have $30 towards my book buying, and essentially the special edition book is included in that. So there's no penalizing, we're all good, we're going strong, and I'm actually really enjoying thinking about this and monitoring what's incoming. I haven't bought anything as of March, and it's the 6th. Normally I would have bought like new releases and all of that, but I've been pretty chill. I also acquired 6 books through NetGalley, so I'm not going to go into those here. I'm thinking of doing a NetGalley tour of the books that I've currently got outstanding and what's been on there, full tour if you'd like to see that. And then once I've done that, going forward, I will actually talk through any that come into my collection, as well as ebooks and audiobooks that I purchase, but I have not purchased any ebooks or audiobooks as of yet. Let's talk about the 7 books I bought myself. As some of you may know, I went to Melbourne for my birthday, and I ended up going to 7 bookstores in a very short period of time, noting down the things that I was interested in, and I had so much fun. But I did walk away with a few things. I also had some gift vouchers for another section, so I will talk about those later. But the ones that I physically spent money on, the first was Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. I haven't read House of Salt and Sorrow, but I mentioned this in my anticipated releases video, and there's just something so whimsical about it, and the tagline is "The heart's desire always comes with a price," which we know I love. It seems very fairy tale-esque, and I'm just super excited to get to it. I haven't actually heard any information or any reviews since it's released, but I'm curious to get to it and give it a go. Then this is one that I've been eyeing off for the longest time, or since it's released, and that is Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. If a beautiful cover or with your favorite color on the cover comes up, this is definitely the book that I'm going to be putting in for that, as I absolutely adore this cover. This has been described as red, white and royal blue meets space, and that has me very intrigued. I know that it is an LGBT romance, and I just have wanted to get to it for the longest time. I really don't know too much information aside from the fact that everyone has seemed to love it, so can't wait to get to it. But I will say that about all of these because I'm a very excitable person. Then for Amy from A Star Reads' birthday, I sent her The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Koss, and when I was in Melbourne, decided to get it for myself. Just because this is told from the perspective of famous literature men's daughters, I believe. And this is following Mary Jekyll, the daughter of Dr. Jekyll. So I'm not sure what it involves, but it sounds like a ride. Everyone seems to really love them, and when I saw it there, I was like, you know what? Let's do this. I bought it for Amy, and then now we can buddy read it because I have it as well. That was not my original intention, but it's there now. And then finally in Melbourne, the last book that I bought for myself was Ransom by David Malauf. I had to read this for uni and absolutely loved it. I cannot remember a single thing about it. I know that it's a retelling of the Iliad. I ended up doing a book swap with a girl at uni. She needed this book for the class that I had just completed the term before, and I needed one that she had got. And I said, let's message at the end of term and we'll swap back. And I never heard from her. And I'm kind of frustrated about that because I had all my annotations, tabs, all my deconstruction, and now I don't have that. And I'm not going to put myself through it again, but I wanted to have it because I know that I love it so much, and I will reread it eventually. I'm just not going to annotate it anymore. So I got a copy, and it now has some really good memories attached to it, and it was from an independent bookstore, so that was a lot of fun. Then outside of my trip to Melbourne, it's really bad having an Amazon wish list, so I went on just to check and see what was floating around there, and I noticed that a hardcover was on sale for extremely cheap. So I picked up The Lost Coast by A.R. Capetta. I know that they no longer go by their title on here, but yeah, I think that is why, because they're republishing their books without that name, and I'm just going to be courteous of that fact and call them A.R. Capetta. I got this one. I thought it was a different book, and it was based off a road trip, like a Morgan Matson one, and then Kara says no, it's gay and has magic. It was essentially like gay witches. I said yes, sign me the fuck up, and now I have it, and it was extremely cheap for a hardcover, so that makes my heart happy. And then when I was in Melbourne, I noticed that a little novella had come out and I really wanted it, and Ash said that he had it at work, so I ended up getting A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. I haven't read the 10,000 Doors of January or Once and Future Witches, but Sleeping Beauty retelling, this is my brand. Let's just, of course I was going to pick it up. It's goddamn short as all hell, so that is super exciting. I have recently realized that I've fucked up my Spring Into Reading-a-thon TBR and read things that I shouldn't have, so this could actually replace it, and I might get to it this month. Who knows? But I acquired it and I am super excited to have this in my hands. And then the last book that I bought myself was the one that I've decided to apply the weapon and my extra money to from January. And that is the illustrated edition of Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, and holy shit, I'm losing my tits just holding this. It is bloody stunning. The illustrations are beautiful. I cannot deal. Everything about it is just perfection. I originally ordered this through Amazon and it didn't come very battered, but it didn't come new. And so I said, nope, we're gonna return that, and I ordered a new edition. and it's arrived and it's not damaged, and I'm so happy. So this is in my collection and I'm just so I'm definitely going to be replacing my editions as we go, if I do have any excess this year, and I feel like that's a good reward for me because I desperately wanted to get them but could never justify it, and this is prompting me to actually get the books in my collection that I want to have, because I've been drooling over them for like the past 2 years. So here we go. I've got the first one and I'm very excited to replace my well-loved version of the second one when that finally happens. So hopefully that won't be too long and I replace it. I will be sending my copy of Assassin's Apprentice to Rye if they would like it. Unhauling at the same time, we're good. Money was spent on that, but technically it's not counted. So that's that one, which leads me into my gift cards and purchases that I made not directly from the person's choice. So the first two I got while I was in Melbourne, and my mum has made claim to one of them, and I don't know if I'm going to see it for a long while, and that is Anxious People by Frederick Buckman. So she was wanting to read but not really feeling the reading vibes while we were in Melbourne, and I showed her that, and she's like, oh, there's a TV show about it, I'm really curious to watch it, I'll read it first. So she started reading it, got like 7 pages in, and then promptly fell asleep. So take of that what you will. I got it because I is an anxious person and I love Frederick Buckman's writing, so I thought it would be perfection, and I hope that I love it. I'm pretty sure that I will, but I can't read it till she sends it back. Also, in saying that, Mum has probably about 10 to 15 books of mine that I do want back on these shelves, but she's currently borrowed them, and I did not think about that when rejigging my bookcase. That's going to be fun when they do make their way back here, including Anxious People. And then the other one that I got was The Bones Spindle by Leslie Vedder, another anticipated release that I was so looking forward to because it's a Indiana Jones inspired Sleeping Beauty. I don't know, I still don't understand this synopsis, but I am absolutely here for it, and I'm here. I believe it's LGBT, and yeah, so I'm here for it, and that's all I need to know. I will let you know my thoughts when I do get to it, because I am a Sleeping Beauty retelling hoe apparently. And then the last one was for a Christmas voucher left over, and so when my pre-order for House of Sky and Breath came in, I've decided to go with the hardcover editions, as I kindly got gifted House of Earth and Blood, and so that's in the hardcover. So I've decided to stick to it and keep getting the hardcovers. This is a fucking Bible thin page 800 chunk. Like, it is a weapon. I am concerned. Very excited to get to it. Don't know when that's gonna happen, but it's here and looking glorious, and the main reason is these end papers. Like, goddamn. Thank God for gift vouchers, because this was not cheap, and now I can love it in all its glory. Then from Ash's work, I picked up 2 arcs. The first is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. I am in love with this design. It is absolutely stunning, and I'm so excited. Just, this seems beautiful, and I'm very here for it. I love these books. I really don't know too much. This is based off Korean mythology and fairy tales and folklore, and I'm so excited to see how it goes. In terms of the other stunning arc that I picked up was An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. I loved their first work that I've read, The Astonishing Colour of After, and so when I saw this I may have squealed mildly. This is coming out in April, and I'm hoping to get to it in March, as I would like to actually read through the arcs that I am stealing from Ash's work, permanently borrowing. So this is one that I'm super excited to get to. Her lyrical writing is just so beautiful. I can't wait. The stars arced through the skies and cracked in half as it fell back to earth. One piece landed first, the other tumbled for a longer stretch. In these moments, 2 children were born and given their names. Hunter Yi, Luna Chain. I'm so excited! Then into my stack of gifts. Holy shit. I am a very, very lucky individual, and I am so thankful. I never expect anyone to send me anything, and I love everyone so much. My soul. For quite a few of these, mostly Kara's, I don't know what the fuck they're about, but I'm keen to go into them. I'll start with Ash's. The first he got me for Valentine's Day was Gallant by V.E. Schwab, which is her new YA, I believe. fantasy, and it's V.E. Schwab. I'm gonna get to it, and I'm gonna like it. This cover is absolutely stunning. Oh, mirrored image! This works for the pop sugar! Ah, yes! Fuck yes! I was thinking, how the fuck am I gonna make that happen? And I love the part headers and designs. It's just, it's so stunning. I don't have too much to say on it because I just know it's about a house and it's pretty, and that's all I need to know. The other book that Ash got me was the first thing I acquired in February, and that was because I had had so much self-control in January that he wanted to treat me to something, and so he got me The Extraordinary, which is one of the villains stories, also by V.E. Schwab. I don't know what this is about aside from it's based in the world of the villains where you can have a near-death experience and gain extraordinary powers. So I don't know who this is following, what their power is, but I'm here for it. And it's a graphic novel and it looks stunning. And the illustrator Enid Balam, Jordi Esquin-Lorach. Then Amy knows how to time these things perfectly. I literally finished the book by the same author the day before I received this present, and I had said to myself, if I don't get it for my birthday, I'm gonna go and get it. And then 12 AM on my birthday, I was like, I can't wait any longer. I need to open this package, and it was Stiff by Mary Roach. This is in my hands and I'm really excited about it. Mary Roach is a humour science non-fiction writer and look at a variety of topics based under an umbrella topic, I suppose. So I read Bonk, The Curious Science of Sex, and then last month I read Grunt, which was looking at science and military warfare and the various components that go into that. She doesn't go in depth into these subtopics of the overarching one. It is just a brief anecdotal experience of her going and talking to an expert in that field, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. The choices that she makes is genius, and I have so much fun with these. Just the title headers usually have me in hysteric. A head is a terrible thing to waste, crimes of anatomy, dead man driving, remains of the author, eat me, medical cannibalism in the case of the human dumplings. Like, what the fuck? So this is all about cadavers and what happens with them and their curious lives. So thank you so much, Amy. God, this is one that's been sitting on my list for a few years, and to be able to actually have it and know that I can read it the second I get a non-fiction pick onto my TBR, we're here. Also, if you sent me one through Amazon and have the little note, I have now put them into the front of the book. So the next two I got were from Joe, whose handle is Books Joe Reads, and they were super lovely and sent me The Way of the Argosy by Sebastian de Castell, which is the first in the, it's like a prequel to the Spellslinger series. Try saying that 10 times fast. And I love the Spellslinger series. I haven't finished it as of yet. I think I'm up to book 5 and I need to read book 6. Then I can start into these, and I'm so keen. I love Farius Perfex, which is the character that we're following in these, and I'm so curious to see their story and how it came to be. With that, Amazon said that it got lost, so they decided to send me another one as they got their refund and everything, but decided to change it so if it did show up, there wasn't 2 duplicates, which was great because they both showed up. But the second book that they got me was Trader's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. So this is his adult series that are following the Greycoats, which are the king's men, but now the king has died, I believe, and so they're like trying to keep order, but they don't really have any power because the king is dead. I have no idea what this is going to entail. I basically got onto Sebastian de Castell through Jade from Jade Ray Reads, and I can't wait to be able to read all the things and continue on and start this series. I have so many just glorious things to begin. Then, like I said, Kara's are 2 that I'm not really sure on what they involve. The first she got me was Son of the Storm by Celia Davis Okimboa. This is a fantasy. Zero idea what this actually entails. I know that quite a few of authors that I adore have blurb the back, and I'm just gonna go in and have a lot of fun. It seems really intense, really cool, and yeah, but I'm so excited to get to it. Like, it just, no idea. But that makes me more excited. And I believe Kara got me this to buddy read. I need to bully her to read it. We will be buddy reading that sometime. And then she got me, so usually for my birthday she gets me one that she loves and one that she hasn't read. And the one that she's loved for this year was The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I've never read a Stephen Graham Jones and I am petrified to because they are horrors, I believe, and I'm chicken shit. But if I'm gonna read any, I'm really curious to get to this one, and so I'm so thankful that it's in my hands. Oh, Rebecca Roanhorse has blurbed it as well. Interesting. And The Only Good Indians charge nature's revenge on a lost generation that maybe never had a chance. Okay, no idea, but I'm here for it. Then April kindly got me Legend Born by Tracy Deonn. I've wanted to pick this up for ages, and when I was in Melbourne, I was like, don't know what to decide between. I'm thinking of like 3 or 4. This was one of the options and I decided against it. Came home, opened her package, and there it was, and I was like, oh, thank God. But I'm so excited. So I was like this close to picking it up myself, and I just know that Bree is our protagonist and she comes into a magical world, I believe, and finds her powers. I'm keen. Very, very keen. I know the sequel has either recently come out or coming out soon, and yeah, so I can't wait to dive into this series. It screams all different things that I'm gonna love. Then I nearly screamed. She got me the hardcover version of Autobiography by Christina Lauren. I feel like this cover is beautiful. I've wanted it since I first started watching BookTube, and I'm so excited for it. It is a male-male romance and set in a college where a boy was out and now has to go back into the closet as they move to a more conservative town, I believe, and he takes a writing course and it goes from there. I don't know too much, but this is stunning and I have a happy. Also, if it's gay, I'm gonna have a happy, like, let's be honest. Then Jacqueline from Jaxie Jax Reads, and I will leave everyone linked below. Obviously, they're amazing and you should go check them out. But she sent me The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. This is the first in his Norse mythology, and we will be buddy reading this sometime throughout this year. I am very excited because I love Norse mythology. I love Greek mythology and I feel like it's more commonly found. So to get more Norse and fantasy, just yes, I am here for this, and there is a dragon on the cover. So all I need in life. I think Jacqueline and I are going to have a lot of fun buddy reading this. We are also buddy reading the City Watch series by Terry Pratchett, and we have a few other ones lined up. Sorry, Jacqueline. So it might be a little while to get to it, but we're both very excited to get to it when we do. And then the other one she got me was The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I'm very so excited to get to this. This is also her choice for the advent calendar pick for this year, so I was going to get to it this year anyway, so I'm very happy that she gifted to me so I could read the physical copy. I just know like chapter 21 or something is going to hurt me deeply. Not too sure on that front, but I'm excited to be in a lot of pain. I believe this is based off Chinese history, and I'm curious to learn more and know what it's all about and why everyone loves it, and I'm sure that I will as well. And finally, Mel from A Book Fan Named Mel gifted me 2 wonderful books that I'm screaming about because they are the continuations in series, and it's like she knew my brain was craving these and sent them my way. The first is Well Played by Jen DeLuca. This is the second in the Well Met series, set at a Renaissance fair, and I have no idea what it's about, but I'm here for it. I can't wait to get to this, and this is a very yellow cover. I'm not sure what romance trope is this one, but we'll see. And I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna love it, and I'm so excited that I finally have this in my hands because I keep forgetting about it, but I desperately want to read it. And the other one that she got for me was The Beast by Katie Robert, and I am screaming into the void because this is the next in the Wicked Villain series and I keep forgetting to put it on my goddamn TBR, so now I have it physically in my hands. This is my 3rd Katie Roberts that I own. I'm just growing so quickly, it's great. And this is following The Beast, Gaston and Belle, although that's not, I know it's Beast, I don't think Gaston is pronounced Gaston, and I believe it's Belle as well in a trio, and I'm excited. I have heard that not everyone loves this, and that's totally okay. It just wasn't the dynamic that they love, but I'm sure that I'm gonna love this. Thank you, Mel. So, like I said, thank you so much to everyone who has sent me something. Like, obviously you guys don't have to, but oh my god, I do appreciate it because I am spoiled. I am a lucky duck. I'm so excited to get to all of these. Please take a shot every time that I say I'm so excited to get to all of these in this video. Apparently words are not a thing today. I mean, when are they ever? But yes, I just... Alright, let's see if I can get a shot. These are the books that I acquired in February. This is as high as I can get it to go without breaking myself. These are the books that I acquired, or some of the books that I acquired in the month of February. This is literally only half the stack that you can see. I nearly just broke myself. Let me know in the comments, what is the book that you're most excited for that you got in February, or how is your reading been going? If you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!